Webby O'Neill channel, finally, Manchester United have agreed a deal for Sofyan Amrabat. Now, there's a lot of hype out there around Sofyan Amrabat, so let us know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Get involved in the chat and we'll discuss some of your comments throughout the video. First of all, your first reaction to that deal being done?
It's a player we need. I'm glad it's done. Took a long time. From the first minute to the 90th minute, he's going to bring legs, and that's what's missing out of the midfield. So it's an important signing. It took time to get over the line, but looking at him, he plays the football. It's exactly what we need in that midfield, and it's to shake him up. He will put pressure now on other players because he will want to get in the game. I'm made up with it. I just hope that it works out right. Obviously, Casemiro there, but I think he'll get plenty of game time. He's got the legs. He just runs and runs and runs, and that is the one thing what is missing in the midfield.
Yeah, I totally agree with the legs. And will we see Erik ten Hag maybe tinker with his formation? As we've seen at the start of the season, it's more or less Casemiro at the base of the team on his own, with Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes giving it the legs up and down the pitch in a more attacking role. So do you think he'll tweak it where we could maybe see Amrabat and Casemiro in the same team?
You might do. He's going to look at what's happening, the couple of games we've played, and he knows that they're not up to scratch. So when he looks at the opponent, like last year, it seemed to be gung-ho in a lot of games, and that's why we lost a lot of away games and all that, and it's not quite worked now. So I think he will look at the opponent and change the style of play, and having Amrabat there could be where Casemiro's on the pitch at the same time. So he will be looking at the situation like that, and quite rightly so. It has been a criticism of Erik ten Hag that he's not sort of like played defensively and gone too far forward. But Amrabat here is the type of player he can slot in and he can go forward. But the thing is, he's got the legs, and we need the legs because we just seem to have been a team, one half, then a second half.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for Man United. But slotting him in there, right? I think it could be the puzzle is complete there for that midfield.
He's the final piece in there.
I think so. I think the puzzle is complete now, and we've got a good few years to look forward to him as well. Yeah.
I've just asked you before, a lot of hype around Amrabat, and everyone's getting positive comments there, which we will discuss later on now. The deal, what's been reported, it's a loan deal on a €10 million fee, plus a buy clause at the end of that in June 24. Now, that complete package, if United were to purchase Amrabat, would come to roughly €25 million, which I think in pounds sterling is roughly 21.4 million, if my maths correct. But let me know what you think. Does that represent good value for money there with Amrabat?
Without a shadow of a doubt, because at the end of the day, I've just said there, it's the final piece of the puzzle in that midfield, and it's what we've been screaming for. Every United fan out there knows that the legs aren't what it should be, and having him there holding it is excellent. Casemiro, is his legs going? I don't think they are. I just don't think he's up to fitness at the moment. But I mean, if you look at Amrabat there, he might need a bit of time to get up to fitness. He's not been playing with Fiorentina. He's been sidelined, training virtually on his own or with the young guns. So I can't really see him maybe getting a start for quite a while, to be honest.
Yeah, luckily, though, we've got that international break as well. Now, I'm not too sure if Morocco are playing in the internationals, but if they are, surely you'd expect him to be going off over there to maybe get some minutes as well. So maybe we will see him in the squad for Brighton.
Yeah, you would see him in the squad for Brighton, and at some point you would expect him to come on, because if you look at Brighton, how they play football, he is the type of player what you need on the pitch against Brighton, to intercept, to keep chasing and harassing him, and just for 90 minutes. And against Brighton, we're all going to have, all the players are going to have legs, because they play the football, the passing and move. That's how they do it. Well, Amrabat there will sit there, move out wide, and then just intercept and do the tackles. And then maybe you just might see Amrabat and Casemiro on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah, Amrabat is not just a runner, he's not just a tackler as well.
No.
He is someone who we've seen in the World Cup. He does like to get on the ball and try and dictate the tempo from the base of the team as well. So he's got a good passing range. When I've seen him, he always looks up, looks to go forward with the ball instead of sideways or passing back as well. And it's a player that Erik ten Hag wants like that.
I think he's going to struggle at first, which is understandable in the Premier League, about trying to dictate the pace of the play. The Premier Premier League is a different beast to what he's been playing. Even though he's been to the World Cup, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
So it might take time for him to settle down and like react to the pace of it. I think having the time to deliver the ball, what he's been used to, I don't think he'll get that time here. So it might be just used short term until he gets up to speed. But he's got the legs for the speed, and he's got the energy, and he will get there quicker than most players.
Yeah, just going into the chat, Lance Hazelwood says, a great signing, Amrabat. It's a relief getting him 27 years old in his prime. Totally agree. As says Casemiro and a Sofyan partnership, it will be mint. Raj says as well, time to make Casemiro a number 8. Amrabat and Casemiro would be amazing together. I don't really see Casemiro personally as a number 8. I think Casemiro would always sit there in the defensive role, but I could see Amrabat playing as a number 8. Let's say if Mason Mount's injured, or them two challenging for a spot, because Amrabat has clearly got the legs to get up and down the pitch for 90 minutes.
I think when you look at the midfield, bringing Amrabat in there, it's exciting because it puts pressure on the other players. And also Erik ten Hag, it puts pressure on him, because what is going to be the formation? He's bought Mason Mount. So there's the pressure when Mason Mount comes back. You've got Eriksen in there. You've got Bruno. Are they going to be moved out? Are they going to be changed to like suit Amrabat and possibly to suit Casemiro at the same time? You know,
we've also seen Ten Hag as well tinker with Bruno, where he's put him out on the right-hand side in certain games. So there's that possibility there where you could see Amrabat, Casemiro in there, and Mason Mount with Bruno.
Yeah,
in some games, there's that possibility.
You could do, and I think what this boils down to is the forward line, the two wingers and the striker. I think some games will be dictated where that midfield, and the midfield is too far open, where you will bring all the midfield players in and then work from there. And if they've got the legs, they've got the speed. I know that Rashford's out there, he'll have the speed. I hope Højlund, when he gets up to speed, he'll work right. So at the end of the day, we might be seeing a tactical change by bringing Amrabat, by signing Amrabat, bringing him here, right, and then working the other players. I think there's a lot of work to do here, and I think we just need to just wait, and then there'll be a moment. But he's brought in at the right time. Champions League has just been brought, so he's going to be used. There's plenty of games. Will he start the game, his first chance when he comes back, when they come back from the international? I'm not so sure, but I think they've got a lot to work on in this midfield because it's so important. But I think he will be an important player because of his legs and his energy, and he does it for 90 minutes.
Yeah, Danny Blackburn in the chat says this will also help with those big away days where we've been stuffed recently. And you mentioned that earlier on, the away form last season, and this season when we've played Tottenham, it hasn't been good enough against the top 6, top 9 team. So he will definitely help with that. Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt, he'll help with that. We know it's been poor away, and we know we've been too wide open. And having Amrabat on there, I don't think we'll be too wide open. And I think when you look at last year with Erik ten Hag and his tactics, sometimes going away from home, he was too gung-ho, and it will change. And I think having this type of player, I think the forward line and the midfield, I think we're going to see big changes here because of the style of play. Amrabat's there, and also because you've got a class player in Casemiro. It actually might free Casemiro up to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there as well with one of the comments earlier on about maybe Amrabat playing in a number 8, and I know there's probably people out there who've seen a lot more than with Amrabat than we have, so let us know if you think he can sort of like play that role, or is his role really that defensive midfielder what Casemiro plays, but just let us know and get involved. Prazamf says Amrabat will need some time to get used to our players, but much needed cover for Casemiro, so he sees him as like challenging for that spot with Casemiro.
I think with Casemiro, with his age and his legs and that, he will get plenty of game time, obviously. But I think both of them will get plenty of game time. I think sometimes you'll see Amrabat on there for somebody besides Casemiro. I think that's how it'll work. I think Erik ten Hag, really, I think we're going to see a sea change in what goes on. Because at the end of the day, like the comments before, we was poor away from home. The tactics were wrong in certain games, and the energy levels just clearly weren't there. And the players at the moment, and especially the midfield we've seen, haven't got right up there where the energy levels are. So this Amrabat deal here, him playing, he will push the others on. they will have to perform. And if they don't perform, they're out. Tactically, you just might see a change where you put 4 in midfield here now.
Yeah, and it will be an important player for Manchester United. He brings experience as well, played some big games for Morocco, obviously at the World Cup as well. So he's a very experienced player as well. It's not as though he's an unknown kind of thing.
No, he's not unknown. I think we'll hear a lot more later this evening. He'll be going through his medical. He'll sign the deal. I'm not too sure if it's a buy clause. I'm not too sure if we're going to buy him. I think what will happen is he'll be playing, he'll perform, and I think United will commit then, do you know what I mean, to buy him. It's just an unusual way to go about buying a player, and it's took so long. But after his medical, I think we'll hear a little bit more about how he sees his role at Manchester United. I think there'll been a lot of discussion and his eagerness to get to United. So there's a lot more to come on this story, to be honest with you. And I think it just might rumble on for a while. But if we see him get off to a great start, I think what we'll all be able to see is that at the end of the 12-month loan, we will be buying him. So it's all to do for him, really. He's on the stage, he has to perform, and he's the type of player, really, what Man United need. But he has to perform. Eric Ten Hag's not going to take...
Well, that's what the demand's here at Manchester United.
Right.
Look, we've got a Casemiro there who's won the lot, you know, a very, very experienced player and still a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. But Eric Ten Hag knows he still needs competition in there in that midfield. He knows it's a long, hard season. And as he always says, good isn't good enough. So he'll be putting pressure on the players. And if you don't perform it after a game, a couple of run of games, you know, someone else will come in to give them their opportunity. Yeah,
well, the thing is, I think he's 28, Amrabat. He's
27.
27. He's got a good few years. Really, he's at his peak now. So, to be honest with you, I can't see him failing. I think he'll do well here in the Premier League, and I think he will suit Man United. It's an excellent signing and everything what we wanted. So I've got a little bit more of optimism going forward here now. I was looking at the squad thinking, well, you know, things aren't really happening. You know, we've got a couple of signings in now, loan deal and that, a goalkeeper replacement. We've got this player in, and it is important. But I'm also still disappointed that in the transfer window, we haven't got really what we needed, and that is another striker. And I think you just never know. You never know here. Another striker might come in on loan. That would be okay until next summer.
Yeah, just diving back into the chat, Raj says, Amrabat rejected Liverpool, Fulham, Saudi clubs and every other club to join us. We need more players like him. And that's what I've actually been impressed with in this transfer window, that the players' eagerness, every single one of them that we've signed, have wanted to come here to Manchester United to play for the club. Whereas more so in the past, it's all been about the money they're getting each week and the salary.
Well, you've got to look at it. It's been that long. I think it's been about 2 months since we all found out that Amrabat was wanted by United. His head hasn't been turned by anything what's gone on. Whatever clubs come in, they might have offered him more money and something like that. We don't know. But at the end of the day, his head hasn't been turned. His heart has told him he wants Man United and nothing less. And that's what he's got. And that really is what you want. And that's how it used to be. So to hear it, and the players what we've signed, they all wanted to come to Man United. So what Eric Ten Hag's done is pinpointed players what have got the heart and who want to play for Man United, who will go further than the level what they're already at. They want to work hard because they want to be a success here at Manchester United, and really
they want to improve.
They want to improve, but the thing is, you've also look at it, it's not just about money. Amrabat could have had his head turned by loads of clubs, and it's great to see. So really, when he does appear and the fans are there, they should really be giving him a cheer, because that's a player who wants to be here. So gets a little bit of a mood of what's around Old Trafford at the moment. Great to hear that.
Yeah, Paul in the chat, he also says what you're saying, to be fair. He goes, Amrabat never say die attitude. It will rub off on a few players and give him a spark and play good winning football.
Yeah, he's a player what will make others work harder, and he will demand it as well. And really, when you look out on the pitch, you don't just want one person being like a captain's role and all that. There should be other players taking on that role. You've got the Casemiro there, but he's been stranded. He's not even been able to do his own job proper. So with Amrabat there, he will push players. You'll have Casemiro there doing the same thing. And these are the players you want to get in the team, to be not just one captain in the team when the game's being played. You want more. Yeah. You want 4, 5, 6 players who are all capable of being captains. And really what you say is men. You want men on the pitch. And he looks a proper man. I've looked at him and I think to myself, he's just going to slot in. And like I say, it just might take a bit of time to adjust to the standards of the Premier League.
Yeah, no, Erik ten Hag was asked about the transfer window, his squad as well, and he seems to think he's got a strong squad, Erik ten Hag, what can compete in the Premier League and cup competitions this year. And when he was asked about it, he says, I think we have done good business, we've constructed a strong squad, we are ready for the fight. And on more signings, he went potentially yes, we could be, but we also have to be realistic. So me personally, I'd say we're done in the transfer window at the moment. Do you think we're done? Let us know what you think.
The signings are good. It's just the way it's gone on. It's done everyone's head in. It's a strong squad. We could get another one. I think there is a possibility that a loan deal might come in for a striker. I think that, fingers crossed, like you say. But what is it? We have depth. Yeah, depth in the squad.
We've definitely got depth in the midfield area.
Quality. There is quality there. I go back to the conversation about Hannibal and Kobe Mainu. Their quality, and they're going to come into it. Mason Mount will come back into it. Shaw will come back into it. So at the end of the day, we have got the quality. Now then, strong squad, going forward, just get a striker. If there's a possibility of getting a striker, I think then that would be perfect. It's just not been a perfect way of doing transfers. It's turned it a little bit sour for me and many views out there. But at the end of the day, a striker, that would complement what we've already got.
Well, we did get a left-back yesterday in Reguilon.
Yes, yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
Ten Hag turned round. It was an emergency situation. Cucurella just went right out the window. When he was on the pitch the other night playing against, I think it was...
He actually does do that on the pitch as well, Cucurella, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I think when he was on the pitch, that was the end of that deal, to be honest with you. So it was an emergency. The details, not too sure on it, what's going on. I think United are just going to be paying his wages, so that's fine. I think they've got him up till January. They can send him back if need be, or they can keep him for the full year. So he is there. It's an emergency situation, and he is a loan player. It's the other signing I like, and to be honest with you, it's needed.
Yeah, he did speak about Reguilon in his press conference today. He said he's a very experienced player. He's played for big clubs in La Liga, the Premier League, and he also has a very good background, and he can play intense football.
Well, he obviously knows. He's seen the data and everything else like that, and he's studied what there, and he's just got him in. To be honest with you, he's got him in pretty quick, really. Once that Cucurella deal fell through, so hats off to him for that. So I'm not going to argue on that point. I just hope that he does it when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, it was also announced this morning as well with the keeper, Altay Bayende. Yeah. It's confirmed with him, and it looks like, Onana will be going to the AFCON as well.
Well, what it is he's the replacement for Henderson. He's gone out there, 20 million to Crystal Palace. It was needed. He likes him, and he has stated that at the end of the day, this player is going to get lots of games. He's going out on Onana. He's back in the fold of his international team. So at the end of the day, come January, I think it's January, he'll be getting game time. But I think he'll be getting game time. Ten Hag talks about him, saying that he is going to be a player for the future as well. He's not just got him in as a part-time player. He looks at him as cementing him in into this team. So he's got high hopes for this player, and he's going to have plenty of time. So it won't be too long before we get a chance to see him playing for United.
Going to go on to Rasmus Højlund, but I'm just going to read out Shunek's super chat. Appreciate it, my mate. He
Thank you.
Amrabat makes it a decent transfer window, but still those parasites need to go, which means the owners.
Yeah.
Big up the lads. Thank you, mate. Hope we give Arsenal a game. With Rasmus, I feel we can. Now, there was news on Rasmus Højlund, and he will be available for that Arsenal game.
Yeah, he will be available. He's trained all week, been done well in training, to be honest with you. He joined the training regularly, as it happens, but Højlund training, he will be in the squad. He will get a game. Whether he starts or not, we're not too sure, and I don't think Erik ten Hag's too sure at the moment. So, at the end of the day, I hope he gets at least the second half. And to be honest with you, you might just see him start the game. I'm really excited about Højlund's debut here.
Yeah, Lock and Ward has actually asked in the chat, is Amrabat available for Sunday? But I don't think he will be. He's gone past the deadline. Wasn't there a deadline this afternoon for the Premier League registration?
Yeah, I think
there's on Sunday.
I think there's a deadline on the Friday today. At a certain point, if he's not signed, he will not be able to play over the weekend. Now the goalkeeper and Reguilon, they're going down to Arsenal. They're in the squad. That's what was confirmed today by Erik ten Hag, but nothing was confirmed about Amrabat. My understanding of it is, after a certain point on deadline day, once you've registered, you won't be able to play after a certain time.
Yeah, diving back into the chat, Manu Rooney says, "Hi lads, I've been watching different fan channels about Amrabat. Yours is the best. It's not jumping around like lunatics or being negative. It's an honest, calm, straightforward look at what he brings. And, you know, thanks for them kind words, mate. It's much appreciated. The bit about lunatics, though, you might have wanted to have seen us at Leeds away in the 2 cup finals last year. But, you know, I appreciate your kind words and everyone else who gets involved. One Op says in the chat, is Bailly staying here this season? I've not heard anything on Bailly. At one point I heard he was trying to be given away as a free transfer, but still no news on him.
Listen, he's a free transfer. Nobody wants him. I think what's holding that back and why he's not been moved and there's no news is his wages, pure and simple. I think that's what's holding him back. His injury record is terrible. He'll play 6 games, then he's out. They'll be out for a while. That's consistently been happening to him now for the last couple of years. But I only think the reason being is his wages. He's on high wages, and who wants to buy someone who's regularly injured? So he's staying, and that's it. Man United are having to pay his wages. I don't see him in training, don't hear anything, don't know where he is. I know where he lives. That's the only thing I know about him.
Yeah. NDB in the chat, hopefully I've pronounced that right, my mate. He says, please, what jersey number will our new striker Rasmus wear? I'm not too sure.
No one's sure.
I'm going to go with one. I think he's going to take the number 11.
No one's sure.
It's either that or they expected Martial to be shipped out in this transfer window and take Martial's number.
I think possibly that's what they were hoping, but it's very strange that he signed a couple of weeks ago and he's not even been given a shirt number. Strange. I thought United wanted to sell shirts with his shirt number on and all that. Absolutely baffling. But hey, it's Man United. We're in the funny season. We've just seen it over Amrabat, the way the transfer's gone, and I expect more madness and silliness like that until them Glazers go.
Yeah, let us know what shirt number you think Højlund will wear. Give it a guess. Get your opinions in. I've had mine. You've had yours. Richie in the chat says Amrabat is not ready anyway. He's not been playing regular football. We mentioned that earlier on, so it will take time to get up to match speed. Yeah,
it will take time. 27, couple of training sessions, and he'll be in the squad. That's how I see it. And if he is playing in the internationals over the weekend and next week, then that might help him come along. Do you know what I mean? And with Rasmus Højlund as well, he's been named in the Danish squad. So if he gets a certain amount of game time, what will happen, hopefully, he'll get at least half an hour with the Danish side, and that will bring him on quicker for when they come back. So that's all good.
Yeah, diving into the chat, it's something we did discuss briefly in last night's live video, but Simon Heron says, lads, do you ever want to see Maguire play again? I certainly don't. Now, my opinion on the Maguire situation was, if Scott McTominay is staying at Manchester United, me personally, I would favour Scott McTominay playing in defence over Maguire, because when I've seen McTominay play for Scotland on the international stage, which is a step up a level, I think he performs really, really well in that role.
I put it this way, and I agree with that, and we did mention it, that Scott McTominay, to me, I would prefer Scott McTominay playing as centre-half before Harry Maguire. But the point is, if Harry Maguire puts on a United shirt and he's on the pitch, you support him. The problem with Harry Maguire, as we all know, the fans now have turned and it could get toxic. That's the way it is. Can't change it. cannot change it. So at the end of the day, anybody putting on a shirt, you support that player. That manager's there, you support him, you support the team, no matter what. So I can see him wearing the shirt again, and I can see him getting quite a few games, to be perfectly honest with you, while we rest certain players. So Harry Maguire, yes, I can see him. Did I want him to be here? No, I didn't. I thought we could have moved him on and then gone and got another centre-half and brought that in. But that's not happened. We are where we are, and you have to support every player what goes out there. I don't doubt when Harry Maguire is on the pitch, he's going to give 100%. Now, the question is, a lot of us don't think that 100% is good enough. You're entitled to your opinions, we're entitled to our opinions. But the facts of the matter is, when he goes out on that pitch, or any player for Manchester United, you back him. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, great roundup that. Appreciate them words. Jay Fader says, Martial has stayed fit for a week now. Well, we're not too sure, Rick.
Well, we're not too sure
we'll
on that.
We'll find out on Sunday if he's in the squad.
Where's that information come from? You know what I mean? Get us your source.
Yeah, Mek Cypher says, where's Donny as well? Now, I did see links to Luton this morning. I don't know if that's progressed any further. Yeah. There was also links to FC Lorient in France. So there's a decision to be made today as well.
Yeah, it's a decision which I don't think is going to get made. I don't think Donny's got his head round anything, to be honest with you. The way Erik ten Hag talks about him, I don't think he's up for the challenge perfectly. I think he just wants to stay here, bob about, and that's the way it is. And unfortunately, that's the way of the world with some of the players now who are on high wages and that. They don't really want to rush off to places like that. So I think Donny van der Beek, I can't really see that happening. The sales, to be perfectly honest with you, and this is what's done a lot of fans' heads in, you know, this Amrabat deal, it took so long and that. But the thing is, you've got the flip side of it. Why haven't we been able to get rid of these? But why aren't they out? That's one of the things what has been a bugbear right through this transfer season. And to be honest with you, people like Donny van der Beek should have gone after the first week, because in January they should have worked on this and got ready for it to move these players on, and they haven't been able to.
Yeah, I totally agree. I expected more players to be moved out of Old Trafford this summer, because we mentioned it at the start of last season.
Yeah.
You know, Ten Hag's first season, that this would be a season for him to get used to his squad, who he knows, who he does want, who's on the journey long term.
Yeah.
And he expected more players to be shifted out, but also for better transfer fees. But, you know, we can't have everything in this world, unfortunately, especially under this current regime, and sooner that gets sorted out, the better.
You can't have everything, but the thing is, there must have been the idea of who they were going to move on. So it's disappointing that players haven't moved on, because we have the same scenario as what we had under Ollie. So at the end of the day, it's called deadwood. Yeah. Hanging around, players hanging around, like a bad smell.
Just picking up the wages.
Yeah, just picking up the wages. It's a bad smell. We've seen it time after time now, and I thought United would have got it together. And I think maybe what's disrupted it all is really the sale, the Glazers, and the mood round the camp. I think people haven't really done the job inside there. We may one day find out the truth of what has gone on with this transfer, why there's not been the money there available, and why players have not moved on. But for now, we ain't getting that news. And I think maybe once the owners depart, I think we'll all be enlightened about lots and lots of things what have gone on in the last 12 months.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Is there anything to add, though, before we go?
No, just looking forward to the Arsenal, get a video done of that. No, I'm fine. I'm happy with the signings. I'm just annoyed, disappointed with the way it's dragged out. It's been very, very bad on my mental health, and I know some of yous out there have been going absolutely mad, because we do read your comments. Yeah, we do indeed, and as ever, we appreciate you getting involved on the videos. If you have enjoyed it, please smash a like on the video. If it's your first time watching, subscribe for more content, and we will be back tomorrow morning with a preview of that Arsenal and Manchester United game, and it will be a good one, so hopefully you can join us there and get involved. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everyone, and I appreciate it, and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.